Welcome, everyone. So this is a workshop to go through API testing. So like I said, this is going to be in a workshop format. So you need a laptop, you need to be in front of a computer. So we're going to do it together for the next 2 hours. So I'm not going to talk about API in great detail, but if you want to know more about APIs, what exactly it is, so you can go to this particular website, which I'm going to post into the chat for you as a reference, so you can keep that. And another website that you can use, which is also a good one for introduction, is this particular one for API. So just a quick one, if you are looking into API, what does it stand for? Application Programming Interface. Yeah, so it's actually extend the functionality of a website. Maybe some people might call it a third party or whatever that is. There are different levels of APIs. You got the browser API, the server API, you got the web API, and there are different API as long as they are actually interfacing with different things also. So when you talk about the web API, you talk about interface with the web. When you talk about browser API, you talk about the functionality that extends to the web browsers and also server APIs as well. So that is just a quick overview about that. So this also is a good document for you to have a read and to see what exactly is an API, the history behind the API, what the API are used for. So one thing that I want to talk about in terms of API is this particular analogy. So if you look at API as when you go to a restaurant, and even let's say it's not even a restaurant, so let's say it's even this particular application that you have on your mobile that allows you to be able to order food, maybe whatever that application is called, right in front of your house, in your house, you order for food. And it actually connects to someone, maybe a restaurant, to get you that particular food. And that is another third party. So it kind of integrates with their own application over there, and with the application that is in your hand. Then in the middle, there is an API that actually does the linking between your application, yourself, and also the restaurant to be able to provide your service. But you can read that on down. That's just a little analogy of what the API is for. So what do you use for API for? You can also read from here. So like I said, this is not API training, is basically API testing. How do you test API? So and yeah, and also you got different type of APIs. You can read up on those ones. So and yeah. So yeah, so one of these sites that I saw actually uses this particular graphics query language, query language actually, but the major one that you can have is the REST API actually, to be honest. That's a major architectural style that is normally used now. So, but just read up on this one. So that's just a quick introduction on that. So basically, when you want to test API, what do you need actually? So you will need your endpoints, you need your resources. So we're going to go through, the manual testing. If they give you an endpoint and it's okay, can you test it? Well, so for instance, I'm going to use this particular site as a case study. So this has got a guide. So, and that is that. So there are different tools that you can use to test APIs. One of the common one is Postman, actually. So let's go to Postman. We download it, then we'll go through that. So Postman. So if you just Google for Postman, download, it will take you to this particular website, which is also postman.com. Actually, you can get it for free. So yeah, click on that. And then once it's already downloaded, you can start to install the application. I've already got one installed, but I'll try to open it, the installation, so that you can go through that. So after that, then I'll bring the application. I've already got Postman here anyway. So let's see if this has finished. Okay, yeah, can everyone please do that? Because like I said, this is going to be a workshop, please, and you are free to unmute and talk at any particular time. I will also be looking into the chat as well. So please, if you have any issues, put it in the chat or unmute and talk. But please ensure that you are in a silent place so that there's no noise behind you where you are talking, so that, yeah, so anyone that's watching the videos can also enjoy it as well. So if that's okay. Okay, so all right. So you open that, and that should bring the installation dialog for you. So okay, so let's wait for that. So that is already started. Yeah. So I think what you just need to click is in default one anyway. So mine actually didn't install anything. So basically, so I think what I can do right now is, if anyone, right, can just volunteer, right? If you are already downloaded it right now, you can volunteer to share your screen. You can raise your hand up, actually, so I can share your screen so we can look at this together. So if that's fine, anyone that wants to volunteer to go through this, okay? Otherwise, then if everybody's already got Postman, then we can continue from Postman, okay?
A quick question. Do you mean
Please.
that anyone that wants to volunteer to download it, or?
To download and install it? No, they have already downloaded now, because
I already downloaded it. Can I share my screen?
yes, please. You can.
Okay,
1 minute.
you.
So
okay.
I think I should. Okay, please do share the screen.
You disabled the sharing.
And try now. I've enabled it.
It's still showing that it's you cannot start screen share while the other participant is sharing. You're still
Oh, okay.
sharing.
Yeah. I think I need to stop sharing. Okay. All right, cool. Okay, you can do that right now.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I turned it back.
No, I think you already got it installed. I'm looking for someone that's not installed.
We already did. All of us already did. Most of us.
Yeah.
Okay, so, let me start sharing.
Okay, Bonaventure. Hello. So, or can I assume that everyone has got Postman, or anyone that wants to have Postman is already got Postman, then I can continue. So I just want to, yeah.
So I've downloaded it, but I haven't set it up. So should
okay, can you share your screen? Yeah.
All right.
Are you able to share your screen? Okay, you've already got it anyway, so don't worry then. So yeah, this is where I want you guys to be. So that's okay, don't worry. So yeah, you've already installed it. So installation is simple anyway. That don't worry. So I'll share my screen from here. Okay, cool. So I'm going to assume everyone has got,
Sorry, Deji.
yes?
Ezinkechi, I've got a question, but I think it has to do with my laptop. I'm not able to install it. I'm using the Chrome laptop.
I think you need a better laptop for this actually. Chrome is like, it's not window technically, actually. So, and you install Chromebook is basically like an app anyway, like you need to install the app. So I wouldn't.
Okay, thanks for notice.
So like I said in the beginning, you need a laptop, full laptop, or even for any programming language at all, you need a full laptop for this purpose. Okay, all right, cool. So don't ignore what you can see here, to be honest. So, and so once you have yours, I think, okay, let's start with someone actually. So that's fine. So let me minimize mine. So for you, what you need to do to start from beginning, let me close all these ones. Close all the tabs.
Hello, DG.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I have got mine in that phase where it's asking me to set up an account.
Yeah, that's fine. Don't worry. So just skip.
Skip the account.
Yeah. Do you want to share your screen? Just share your screen. Let's see.
Yeah, 1 second. Oops.
Sorry, DG, are
1
we
second.
Mac Intel chip or Mac Apple chip for Mac?
To be honest, I'm not a Mac user. For now, for today, I would say, though I've got a Mac. So I think it should be the same, actually, right? So
Because I've downloaded it, but it's not letting me open it. It's saying you can't use this version of the application Postman with this version of Mac OS.
yeah, I think they should download the one that's applicable for Mac, actually. So maybe you are downloading the one for Windows. You need to search for.
I can't seem to get the share up. It may be because there's another screen sharing already.
I don't think there's any screen that is shared, right?
Because I opened the Zoom window, I see Prep Major, but there's no share option, which was there before.
Maybe you should expand your screen.
Yeah. So apologies, Mike. I can't help you on that one anyway. So, but there's nothing is shared right now. Yeah. Okay.
Hello, Deji. Please, can I share my screen?
Forward, please.
Because I'm not sure where I am. I'm not sure what options it takes.
What have you done?
Yeah, I've just signed into it. I actually fit in my details into it. Well, there is a place that says, how would you like to start?
Okay. Okay. Share your screen. Let's see. But guys, we need to move quickly. Anyway, we've got a long way to go. So that's what I said. We will be fast. Okay. Please share your screen quickly. So I think, yeah, you just say, how do you like to start? So this is just information for you. I think if you sit down, you say, I know how to use Postman. So if you don't know how to use Postman, you've got some documentation that you can read up and yeah, you can do whatever. So, and you can click on the bottom one, right? See, I know how to use Postman. Just, I think just cancel this screen actually.
I'm unable to do that.
Can you press escape or
No.
can you cancel? So, okay. All right. You can create a new request. Go to the top.
Unclick the Twitter, then you click the bottom one. Unclick the Twitter, unclick it,
Yeah.
unclick it. Now
Yeah,
go down now.
exactly. And click on I know how to use. Yeah. Is that not clickable? Yeah, exactly. That's where you want to be. Anyway,
Oh.
thanks.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. All right, cool. So I'm going to share my screen now so I can continue quickly. Okay. All right. So this is where you are. Like I said, ignore this part. These are my projects anyway, so don't need to worry. So you will see this new and import, right? So in some cases, when I'm going to explain different parts of this, how it works. So then we start to use them. Okay. So let me delete this one as well. So, okay. So you might see something like this. So that's what you will see. So, and in this part, you see the collections, the APIs, the environment, the mock services, and the history. So in here, you will see your collections. When you click on that, you see different collections. But if you are just using Postman today, or you just install it, of course, you won't see anything here, actually. So, and also you have APIs. This one, you have to log in and use it as a workspace. So we are not going to use this. And environment as well, you can create an environment. I will leave this one because I've got something inside. Also for mock services, you have to switch to the workspace, and you have monitors as well and history. If the history is only actually reads actually collection of different endpoint that you've actually gone into. So if you click on that, it exposes that for you. So I will leave that for now. So because I don't need to show what I've done to you. So, okay. All right, cool. So now let's go back to our collections, right? You click on the collection, then you click on new. Okay, before new, right? So you can click on new to start, but in some cases, maybe a developer, you are working in a company, a developer say, I've got a Postman collection for you. Can you use it for instead of starting afresh? So if they have a collection, you can ask. So in some cases, when you start working in an API environment, you can ask them, do they have a Postman collection, or there is any collection that they have for you? So you can ask them, they would send that to you if they do have. So if they send that to you, you can click on import, and then you drag the file and you import that particular file, and then you see the collection like that in that place. So another thing that you have also, when you set up an environment, let me see. Okay, when you set up an environment here, you have opportunity to use an environment with data. So we're going to use that maybe anytime later, but now we stay on the basic one for now. So, but you have opportunity to use an environment, different environment, because what's going to be in that environment are different variables that you want to save, and so that you can use it later. So now let's go back. So, and if you are new and you want to start, you click on new, it brings this for you, right? So more often you are going to be creating different requests actually. So of course you can have collections. If you want to create a new collection like what you have here, you can create a new collection. And collection is basically like a folder that stores your test or your different APIs that you want to test. So so then your environment also, you can create a new environment that stores the environment variable. You can have a workspace. Those are the things. But now we focus on the endpoints, right? On the requests. So what are the requests that you can create? So for you now, I want you to do that for me. Click on new and click on request. Okay. So this will open for you. You can now add an endpoint. What's an endpoint? Sometimes you don't know, they will advise you to say, this is an endpoint to a particular resource, or this is an endpoint that you need to query. So you can query different, you can actually have different methods that you can use on a particular request. So you can do a get, right? You can do a post, you can do a put, you can do a patch, delete, copy, add options. All these are different things. But more often, developers they might tell you which one to use. But as a rule of thumb, I would say the major one will be a get. Get allows you to get something. If you want to search or get something, or a query, you want to get something out, basically that would be get. Or a post is when you want to enter something, like there's a form and you want to enter something in there, that would be a post. And you also have a put, right? So a put also is basically like an update, and the same thing with a patch as well. So you want to update a resource, that's that. So delete will delete that particular resource that you are looking for. These four are the major ones, right? So the get, the post, the put, and the delete. So, and of course, the patch also is there anyway, but post, get, put, and delete are the major one. There's other one anyway. So we focus on this for today. So, okay, let's go back to the website. So now, if you go to this particular website, so let's say fetch API resource, okay. So you can read up on here to see different queries and everything, what's a fetch and everything. So that's another thing that you can read up. But one thing that we'll talk about the header, request, response, and all those ones. You can also read up on those ones as well. But you don't need to worry too much on this one anyway. So, but we're going to focus on what we need to do. So, okay, all right, let's go now. Let me bring another website up. So let me open this one here. So the approach, this is another website that you could also use as well. So it's similar to this one. So, and I'll send this one to you in the chat. Okay, there's some comments on the chat. Sorry, I'm just reading that right now. Okay. All right. So I'll come back to the questions in a minute anyway. So yeah. Okay. So that is one link. Another one that I want you to also go to that could be useful for you is this particular site. So this is another site as well that you can use for API. So like that. So let's even go here and say, let's see what this gives to you. Okay, all right, that's good. So okay, all right. So now another thing, let's go to google.com. Okay, so let's say you are actually testing Google, right? Google.com, all right, for instance. So now this is a website. We know that when you search anything here, you click enter, it sends something to you. Let's say Blue Sky Citadel. And press enter. So this is what happens. It actually brings the blue sky stuff to you. So, but now this is a website that you are testing, and someone now asks you to do automation on this site, and you want to use what's it called? You want to use APIs. So let's say you go here and inspect. So you go inspect, and let's go to network, and let's do a quick refresh of the site. So it's going to bring some stuff for you, which you can actually check. So in some cases, you might have luxury where developers will give you the endpoint and everything. But in some cases, you might not have that luxury when they give you the endpoint. You might have to search it yourself to see where is this endpoint coming from. So for instance, you can see this now. So this is getting this right. So you go search. So if you go to the header, so you can see this is the header for this particular, so it's a long one anyway. So it's got a lot of things in there. So this is it. So as you can see, is a get, and the status is 200. And in there, they got this payload, and the payload, as you can see, the queue is the Blue Sky Citadel. And after that, it brings a resource. The resource that it brought is actually HTML. Some of the one that you're going to be looking on is going to be JSON actually. So you don't need to worry about it. This is just an information, to be honest. You can, if you don't get it, you don't need to worry. It's just to see how this kind of metamorphoses into the API that you get, the endpoint. So the endpoint that we are going to use something like this, you can see request API. Most of the site will have it like that, because someone will ask me, what is the endpoint? Where is it? Because when we come here, we're going to be putting the endpoint, and you're going to ask, where is that from? How do we get it? I'm just showing you how you normally will get it, but in some cases, developers can give to you, or they can advise this is the endpoint I need to call and everything. So, and even if you go here, at least a good one, it's not long. You can see this is an endpoint, and it's a get actually, and then you get status code 200, and the payload is this particular one, and this is so, and that's it anyway. So, and let's go to BBC. So, and the same thing applies here as well. So inspect it and go to network, and let's refresh. Okay, let me refresh from here. So you got BBC, so you can see this is the request URL, and the endpoint is that, so, and blah blah like that. So if you say, let us search for something here, and let me search for sports. Okay, as you can see, that is one, and that is the endpoint there, BBC, blah, blah. So for instance, let's even do this and see what we get before we start to use another technical one. I'll copy that URL and I'll paste it into my here, right? And I can say, okay, send. And it brings 200 to me, right? And that's it. And then this is the response I am getting, right? So, and that is the body. So, and that's basically what you'll be doing, right? So, but this is bringing HTML for you. So other one will be bring JSONs for you anyway. So, okay. So that is how to get those ones anyway. So, and let's say you click on sports, and you can see this also is another one. You can see this is BBC, PO, blah, blah, like that. So, and it brings that. So, and other one you can, so I think, so you can have, so let's say this one, this another one, as you can see. So, okay, all right, cool. That is it. Okay, quickly.
Hi, Deji. How does this help Scrum Masters? Because looking at it, it seems like a coded language which we are not familiar with.
All right, cool. Good question. So how does it help Scrum Master? So Scrum Master, you are in a team. So when you are in a team, they are talking about API testing. It shouldn't look strange to you, right? It's not that you are going to be there doing API testing, but knowledge of that is very, very important for Scrum Masters as well, right? This is for you, is basically sitting down and getting this and okay, when your tester or your developer is talking about API, it doesn't look gibberish to you. It's not code, it's not anything. So it basically it's not like it's new to you. That's one. Then two, some of the interviews that you go for as a Scrum Master, you might have to answer some questions about APIs and the likes, even as simple as saying, yeah, I know what API is, and I know different methods that you have, get, post, put, and patch can actually make you to stand ahead of other people. So that's one thing I can say, yeah.
Yeah, I understand that part, but I also need to understand when you are looking at this data, you need to understand what it's saying. I don't know if you
So
get
for
what
now, like I said, for now, this is
Yeah.
just information for you, right? We've not
Okay.
actually started. It's just, so you don't need to worry. I'm only trying to say, oh, because we are going to be using the endpoint. Some people are asked, where is that endpoint coming from? How do you get it, basically? This is one way that you can actually get it, but in most cases, they can give you. For instance, now you can have, if I go to here, so you can see the endpoints here, this one endpoint, and they've already given some of the endpoints here. Some companies will have a documentation in Swagger that you can actually get those endpoints, but some of them don't have that luxury to give it to you. Actually, you might have to get it yourself, but most cases, if you join an organization and they don't have a Swagger document or documentation, even as a Scrum Master, you need to ask them. You have an API documentation. You have an API. Where are the documentation? Do you have Swagger documentation? For asking that question as a Scrum Master, set you apart, to be honest. So it means that, yeah, this person actually know what is a Swagger document. That means we need to provide that. As a keyway also, you can also ask for their Swagger document as well. So for you to be able to get that, right? So that's one thing that you need to look into, yeah. Okay. All right, cool. So let's go on, right? So, okay, so let's quickly look at this now. This is a product, yeah. Close. Okay, so this particular endpoint, right? Let's go in there and let's use Postman now. So let's say a developer actually gives me that endpoint to test, right? So I click on new request. Okay, let's do this together now. Okay, this is where everything starts now. So you click on new HTML request, okay, and you post what you have, right? So, and you click on send. So what you have now, okay, quickly, let me explain. So this is a get, okay, because if you decide to put a post there, I don't think that will work. Actually, you can see. So it's a get because you are actually getting the products. You are getting all the products in this particular website, right? So a good example is this. Let's say you have Amazon, right? So you might are working with Amazon, and Amazon might have these particular resources. You might say Amazon.com, which will give you the list of all the products that will be displayed. So, but the developer would do this, and then they will create a front end to display these products. That is what it means. But before now, so this is the back end, right? You can see the details of the product. And let's say this is a product for phones and the like. So, or even it could be Amazon as well. So the first product with ID 1, the title is an iPhone 9. This is the description. This is the price. This is the discount percentage and the likes, and also the images for that particular product. And this is the first product. This is the details of the first product. And then you see another one for the second product as you go along. And you see the third product is there, the fourth product, on and on like that. So that's one. So now this is how to get it. So the first thing now you put the method. Method is a get, because we are getting all the product, list of the products for this particular website, right? So the website could be different. It could be a different website if they have an API. So, okay. So now there are different levels of authorization. We are not going to talk about that yet, but just to quickly give you like an appetite on what that authorization is. For instance, you have some website that you need to log in, you need to do some things on those websites. So, and for you to do those things, you need to have maybe login, you need to have API keys or something, or bearer tokens like that. So, and you can, for you to get access to those APIs as well, you need to provide authorization for them as well. So there are different levels of authorization. Like this one now, there's no authorization. The same thing with this particular one that we've done right now. There's no authorization. But if there's authorization, you can use API key, you can use bearer token, you can use basic authentications, you can use whatever the authentication that you want for that one. So yeah. So let's continue. Okay. So this I want you guys to do. Okay. So okay, I think someone already sent the link. Thank you, Abimbola, for that. So yeah, so you just need to put that link here and click on send. So once you click on send, you got that covered and you should see your product here. That is your first test, and confirm that it is 200, right? 200 means everything is okay. For instance, now, if you now do product, right, and you click on send, right? So you can see 404 means it is not found. There's no resources, any resources that's got products. The only resource that they've got is products with S. So as you can see, the other one that we did with products is got the return, the body, the return body, or the response body rather, as not found, right? 404. So, and this one now, let's go back with the products. Now you see the response body, and you can see the status. Now, so another thing that you need to look into, normally there's some endpoints that you need to have. You need to put some parameters. Hopefully we get there. If not today, we might look into that later. So you might have different parameters that you have to pass to them, and authorization, that's talking about that. So headers, actually, so you know, there's someone that spoke about, I think, that's not there. So you can also add the return type, in this one, whether it's going to be HTML or JSON anyway. But this we didn't actually add any header, but this is just a standard one that's required. We didn't have anything. So, but in some cases there might be body, but most especially body will be used for a post, right? For instance, you take a post like when you are entering a form and you click send. So for those particular form that you send, will have a body. That means the parameters or the content that you want to send. That's one. So, and now another thing that I want you to look into, even this part is relevant to testers now. So yeah, now you have your status as 200. That is manual way of doing it, right? But sometimes you can also do a little automation, right? Testing here with Postman. So what you need to do is click on test, right? You want to validate this status code that it is 200. So without having to check it, you want your test to kind of find it that is 200, okay? So, and what you do, they've given you some snippets here that you can use. So one of them is this one, status code is 200. You click on that. It's going to put this snippet here for you, right? My status code is 200. And this is the code, PM response to have status 200. And when you run your code and it returns 200, it will pass. As you can see, it passed. So let's say you are expecting 201, right? And you run your code and return 200. What's going to happen? So that should fail actually. So yeah. So it would.
Sorry, Deji. How did
Yes.
you get the information to populate once you're on test? Because when I
Okay, I'm
click
going
on
to talk
test, I
about
just
that
get
in-
number
yeah.
one.
Okay, 1 minute. I'll come back to that now. Okay, so now when I run that, you can see my test result actually shows that this failed. I'm expecting the status code is 200, but I got, yeah, I'm expecting 201, but I got 200. So because this is 200. So now to go back to the last speaker that said, how did I get that? So let me go back. Yeah, when you click on, you don't see that snippet. So, but when you go to test, you see this particular snippet here, right? So you click on that. You can scroll down. There are a lot of them actually, which we might use later. So you can see this one say status code 2 is 200. Click on that. That gets populated for you. And once it's populated, you just want to confirm it's 200. That's your status code. And you click on that. Your test is passed, and that's it. However, one thing that you need to know, the Postman is divided into different sections. This bit is your responses and everything. Sorry, is your endpoints that you put in there, and you have your requests. These are your requests, anything that you want to put in your request at this point. However, you also have responses as well. So you have your response body here, and if you are using cookies, is there. And also your header, any response in your header is also displayed there. And if you have a test, you have it here. So talking about the body, right? You can have the body in different formats. This is a pretty one. You can have it in raw format, as you can see, and you can have it in a preview format, right? Or if you want to visualize them, I think, yeah, I don't have this set up anyway. So most often you use the pretty one, as you can see, is kind of laid out very well according to hierarchy, actually. So you can see. So, okay, any question? Okay, someone says go 400. Yeah.
I'm also getting a 404.
Okay.
404.
So if you are getting 400, yeah, you see that I really don't know. You should not get 400. So do you want to share your screen if you quickly?
Yes, if the first person will not go, I'll share mine. I'll give the first person a chance.
So anyone that wants to share their screen to see.
I'm sharing my screen, but you
Okay,
should
1 minute.
stop sharing yours.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. So here is mine. And I still put products, and it's still giving me that.
Can you remove I think there is an enter key at the end.
Yes, there is. But
Delete. Can you press delete, please?
Okay, delete.
Delete again. Okay, then send.
Oh, okay, thank you. Also, when you were sharing your screen at the inspection page, when you did the DOM, I saw that the network, what was the essence of the network?
The network is where you see the list of the resources that that particular website is actually querying. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So in there, that's where you see all these endpoints on the network. So for instance, if this is a website, the one that we are showing right now, if it's a website, they will give you a website, right? You won't see this content that you have in the pretty layer, right? Because that is the backend, right? They will give you a website, www.maybe.dummyson.com. In there, what you will see is list of the product they are offering, like Amazon.com, right? But at the back end, the endpoint that is calling will be like /products, because that is the one that returns all the products and then the, okay. And then what happens is that the UI developer will now present it in a better format, right?
Thank you. I didn't know I did.
Okay.
Let me stop sharing.
Okay, all right. So I think those guys that are also having 400, you saw what happens. Maybe you have a dot or something or enter at the end of that particular product. So please fix that. Okay, cool. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So I think I've got someone recently and okay, cool. All right, cool. So let's move on. I think you can also put some other things. Let's say I'm looking for a simple snippet that we can add. Okay, yeah. So response body contains string, right? This is one, right? So let's put that. So I want to confirm that our response body contains iPhone 9 or smartphone or something like that. You can do that and you can put, okay, I want to ensure that it contains iPhone 9. And send it, right? So you can see that is it. It's passed. Let's say does it have iPhone 12? No, it doesn't. Has it got iPhone 10? It doesn't. How about iPhone 8? Yeah, as you can see, that's, yeah. So we know that it's got iPhone 9 because we saw that anyway. So that's one thing that you can use to validate your test, as you can see. So of course we can look at this and say, okay, it also contains iPhone X, blah, blah, like that. It also contains that. So we can add different tests for that particular purpose. And yeah, so that is one. Of course, you can do more advanced tests to say that, yeah, I want to look for ID4 and the ID4 has got the title of this and it's got description of that, blah, blah, like that. So that's another way to do that. So and that is it. So let's go. Before I leave here, actually, because this is quite simple, I want now to tell you, let's say you want to move to automation, right? And you want to now say, okay, can I automate this within the code, right? So if you go here and you click here, so you will see the code snippet for this particular test, actually. So this is a C# one. So if you are using C#, you can copy this code and you can paste it in your code, right? For C#. As you can see, this is your endpoint and this is the request and this is status. And then this is, yeah, the content. So what you can now do is to validate the content or the status based on what you want. But this is the code that you can use for this particular test, right? But the only thing, it hasn't got this particular test inside that. Actually, you need to write that in your code if you're using C#. For Java, just click on that and go to Java. And this is the Java snippet. You just copy that and put in your code. And that, yeah, will do the job. What you just need to do now is to kind of execute that area. And so, okay, maybe response content dot contains, yeah, what you want, like iPhone 9 or thereabout, or status response dot status is equal to 200 or something, and validate that. So that is quickly, I just let me quickly mention that if you want to look into automation, yeah. But today is basically on API manual testing. Let me pause a little bit and go slowly again. So for other people that maybe you are not able to catch up or you think I was a bit fast. So what is the function of endpoint? So, okay. I think that is the reason I went through that. Someone is asking me, what is the function of an endpoint? So now that is what I was trying to explain here in the first instance. When I went to bbc.com, I said this, for instance, this is an endpoint, right? So this is a resource endpoint. And in there now, you can see this endpoint is the one that actually does this particular font, is the one that displays this basically, because this is the resource that it returns. So this is the HTML that it returns actually. So when you call this endpoint, for instance, we copy this and put in was it in a notepad, right? Maybe let's see. If you copy what it actually returns to you, these ones, and you put in a notepad, it would actually bring this particular website for you. So let me save that. So I just copy the content here and I'm pasting. As you can see, that is also already showing BBC Radio Bristol anyway. So it's, yeah. So hopefully, yeah, as you can see, that is that with a little bit of changes. So this endpoint is the one that actually brings that BBC one, as you can see, right? So it basically gets that and display that. Basically, that is the purpose of the endpoint. Use it to query. So of course, some endpoints are also used to post and also some endpoints. So like this one now, a good example, when you go to this endpoint, this one displays this in this format for you, but for you to work, so sometimes maybe if you go to Amazon, right, amazon.com, so like this could be a good example, right? So, and at the back of this one, there will be endpoints. It might be similar to something like this, right? That will say, okay, each of the product that you want to display, this is their detail, right? It would do that. And then the UI designer will pick those ones and then display it according to the design that he wants. But the details of that design is there, right? You say, okay, I want this title here. I want this particular first element you want to display should have title as iPhone. The second element should, based on what we now have here, right? So please display all these products on the web page. But because this is not a UI test, it's a backend test, we are not worried about how it's presented. We are only looking at the data that is being presented. That's why it's more reliable, because the data might not change, or it's going, even though you put it on the left, on the right, we are only worried about the data. We are only going to check the data, that data is correct and is displayed properly. And when you query it, it returns what you need to return. That is the purpose of the API test. Any question?
I just have a question, like,
Please.
I was trying to actually do it with our own test, the prep major URL that was given to us. Actually, what I was doing, I wanted to tell you so that you can tell me what I was doing wrong. I wanted to know the people like a DB something testing, but I was using the API because I wanted, like, I have logged in with several username and register. So I wanted to see if it was gonna display that, because the one that I used was like the one, and it said users equals 2. So I was trying to do that with our own URL too. So what was I doing wrong? And it would just display the, like you said, it would just display the HTML language and everything, and the body, and it wasn't getting what I didn't get what it was a passing test, but I was testing, I was expecting something, the wrong thing. Or what was I doing?
I don't know what wrong thing you're expecting.
No, I was
Well,
expecting for it to display the users, the name, the various users that I have already logged into this database.
You think that is right?
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's a SQL or whatever we put input there, there's a database being formed, right?
And you think everyone should have access to that, like yourself?
No, it's just you're
Exactly, that's the
testing, you are
point.
trying.
Anyway. So if I keyway, right, and you have that opportunity, and then it display all the website, for instance, now, okay, what you are saying right now, right? I go to Amazon, right? There are a lot of people here, right? And I want to say, okay, I want everyone on that, right? I want everybody, let's display it for me, right? Of course, that would be porous, isn't it?
Say it like
You won't
that.
get that. So you need to know what you are looking for, what you are getting. Another thing that you need to know is like, you won't be able to get access to Prep Major endpoints directly like that. Okay. So that's where, so for some companies, they will have to give you their endpoints, right? So because it's not something that they will give to everybody to be able to have access to that, because that's another way that you can use to go from the back end, right, to enjoy. Even though some of them, like for instance, now when we went to BBC, right, they just displayed this. You didn't see the JSON, right? Right. You didn't see anything. They just displayed the HTML, which is basically what you get. So if you go to Prep Major, so that is what you will get. Your response will be the HTML, actually.
Okay,
Your
that's
response will be,
that's what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
But if you try to inspect the element on this page, you will see the JSON, you see it in JSON format or in HTML format, right?
What do you mean, just informant on
If
this one?
if you try the endpoint, all these ones, yeah, it will come out like this. That's what I mean. This one. This is the HTML format.
Yeah, this is HTML format.
So what do you
What do you
mean
mean? You mean the elements, this one?
Yes, the way it was built, yeah.
Yeah, every website will have the element displayed anyway, right?
Oh,
But what you are looking for
So
is when you go to the network.
yes. So
When you
what
go to
was
the network, you see the endpoints here. So I think all done. Another thing that you need to, because I've already set it to doc. So if you go here, you might not see as I'm seeing. Actually, maybe I should let you know. You will see all actually like that. So these are all the resources in there. So not all of them are endpoints actually. So like this is a different resource, this is a different resource. So basically, so and yeah, so I just kind of restricted it to only the documents actually. So for a start, yeah.
So the one that is not restricted, how do we get the endpoint?
What do you mean?
This one you already restricted to document. That's why we're able to see network
I
and
only
get it.
clicked on the documents here so that it only shows a little of them actually. Otherwise, it's going to display everything. You just need to click on all, or for instance, if you want only JSON to display, you click on JSON. Sorry, JavaScript rather. If you want only the CSS to be displayed, you click on. So I only kind of okay, selected the document, but you can go to the all anyway. So let's see. Some of them are also give a JSON. Let's see. Payload. Yes, this is one. Yeah. So I think you can see that one give a payload. This is your So you need to worry about that. So yeah. Yeah, this is an example of what you are looking for. Actually, you can see user info, right? So this basically, maybe this might be my info, or is a get user info response. This is it basically, right? This is what is actually getting for me, right? So the country I live in. So if you do from your own end, for those people that is not in the UK, it will show the country that you are in and everything. So, and this is the header, right? So, and the same thing we can, I think you can use this. Let's try to use this one, for instance. Copy the value. Let's go to, let's open a new request here and paste that. And then request. So as you can see, that is that. But how does this one is useful for them? They use it basically to know, okay, because if you're in the UK, you get different section, different websites actually, right? So if you're not in the UK, you get different actually. It's totally different, right? So they use it to know, okay, based on where you are, they display different things to different people, right?
So if you get a job, like if you're called for an interview as an API tester, you're basically going to be testing the back end.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So you will not be doing all these inspect elements. What you're going to be given will be the endpoint, right? So they might give you the endpoint, and what you need to do is, for a start, maybe they are also manual API tester. They are also going to be automation as well. So if depending on which one you get. So let's say they give you this particular endpoint and they say, okay, they will also give you the definition of that. What does that endpoint do? So, and so basically what you would now do is like, okay, you go to your Postman, you put that endpoint, you click on send, and it displays this for you. And then you can now, verify it's sent 200. And also you can put your test here if you are going to use the manual testing and say, oh, it's bringing 200. And also you can also validate the body as well. And I think you can do JSON check as well, isn't it? So let's see. So when I run this one, I think I'm expecting it to fail, right? Yeah. So because I've not changed the content, yeah. So, and yeah, so like that, I'm expecting that includes GB. So, and yeah, the value equals, how many JSON is that? Let's say 3. So it said unexpected test name. Okay, yeah, this does not bring any. So JSON is equal to PM JSON. I think I'll skip this one for now. I think this is not relevant for start anyway. So yeah. So okay. So we are still on get right now. Any question? So I think okay. Okay, any questions? So as you can see, we've kind of used that to get some different websites actually. So, and let's say even on Amazon as well, let's say inspect Amazon and see what their endpoints are. So let me go to the home page and say, okay, let's go and get the endpoint for Amazon. So as you can see, these are different resources they have. So let's go. So one thing that you can do, you can clear them out and then refresh. So I think this is automatically doing something at the back anyway. So let's see what's that. So reload down. Yeah, you can see different what is actually even without you doing anything. So Amazon is doing its own at the back, right? you think you are not doing anything, but it's actually doing stuff, right? So there's different endpoint that is actually calling. Yeah, you can see the event. Yeah. So, and let's say I now do a full refresh. So, and so let me look for one that we can inspect. Yes. So let's go to the documents.
So, an error message of 404 means that whatever you're trying to, the endpoint that you're looking for is not there.
It means it's not found. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think you can say this one. This one is a post actually, because it's actually posting something, even though I didn't do any posting, but it's actually doing some post actually. So for this now, the payload is this, right? It's posting this. So maybe we can check what exactly this is doing actually, but you might, for you to be able to do so, I think you might also be using some authentication at the back of that, because it's got some cookies here anyway. So you might not be able to post that, but let's hold on that. And okay, there's not even response. Okay, so let's see the other one. Yeah, there's no response on that one as well. So okay, this is doing something, but it's not, there's no, so the response is only that. So as you can see, this is also another post. Yeah. So that's how to get their endpoint. Even if you go to the website and say, okay, yeah, you know, they give you a website to test and you are trying to do something, and you can get the, you can get the endpoint from there. Okay, cool. Okay, let's move on unless there's any questions. So yeah. So now let's go back to core workshop now. So let's go and do this. So we still on get now. Let's move on quickly. So I'm going to go back to that. Okay, all right, cool. So now you have this one. Let's get the post. So, and the same thing also is that, so let's go to that. So that actually lists all the posts, right? You can also try that as well and see what you get. Let me send that to you as well. So. So like this particular one now, we get all the posts in this particular website. Yeah, the same way you can use for different websites as well. So if they have the endpoint like that. So, okay, so, and I can create a new, let me now think I can create a new collection, right? Let me add. So, add the new request. So now I'm trying to now arrange my my test now, or my API test in a collection. Let's say I put this as a workshop, or let's say this is, what's the name of this website? Just in place order test. If you can do that, please, yeah. Just, yeah, if you can do that, right click on that, right? And then you click a new collection. So then after that, you can add your request. you can add requests from here, add requests, or you can add requests from here. So once you add a new request, you get that. So you can now say, okay, what do I want to do? So this particular one now, I want to get posts, all posts, yeah? So I can put that here, click on this pencil and say, get all posts. So this is the endpoint, right, for that particular resources. So, and that's it, basically. So, and it's returning 200 for you, and that's it. So the next thing now is you save it, right? So that's it. And you can, if you want, you can add your test. I've taught you about to do the test, that's that. So let's move on to the next one. As you can see, is my JSON placeholder test now. So JSON placeholder is not because it's a JSON, actually, it's because it's in the name of the website. That's why I put the JSON placeholder in there. So yeah. So now let's move to actually getting one of the posts, right? So let's say now I want to get this particular post, this one, only one, right? This one now gets everything, but I want to get only the post one. So what will I do? So they've already told me, right? Hold on 1 minute. So in there, they might give you something like this. Maybe developer might give you something like that, that this is their definition. So now I can do post/1 to get a particular post. I can do post/1/comment to get comment of a particular post, right? I can do comments that I did, so to see what they are going to get, right? So this, something like this will form part of their documentation to see what you can do, what you cannot do, when you do something, what you're expected to do. This is a good one anyway. So let's say now we want to get the first post. So, and let's go here, and I can create a new add request, and I can say get a post. Okay. Are we there now? So you say get a post, right? Once you do that, that will give you a post. Sorry, not here on the title. So now this one, you need to get the so this one now, you need to put the endpoint there like that. So let me send that. So this will give you the first post. As you can see, let's say you have a particular one that you are looking for. You can use this one to get all the posts and then go to that particular one that you're looking for with the ID, right? So let's say I'm looking for this one, number 12, right? Then I can go here, get a post, then 12. Yeah. And then you can validate that the title is that. So let's say I am saying, okay, and then I go to the test and I say body contains that. And if I run it and it passes. So if I put 1 at the end and I run it, I'm expecting that to fail, and which it does fail. Okay. All right, cool. Any question on this one? Okay, so if you move on, and you can see, you can also, okay, add it. Is it a day LT or I don't know? You are raising your hand.
Oh, yes, please. I want to ask a question as regard the endpoints. You have used the word if several times for the endpoints, and I would like to know that is there a situation whereby we will not be given an endpoint? And if yes, what do we do then?
Okay, can someone please help me? Okay, if someone understand, if you are not given endpoint, what will you do?
If you're not given endpoints, you can search for it by doing the inspect.
Okay, thank you so much. So let's assuming that you are not giving endpoints and you are testing Amazon, right? For instance, right? And you are testing Amazon and they ask you, let's say, let me clear this, okay? They ask you to test Amazon Prime Video, right? And you click on that. So you can see these are different resources that it actually interacting with. Amazon is just to be honest, I don't want to, yeah, there are lots of things. So some of the sites might be a little not busy as this one, but I think you can see there are a lot of things that, so you just need to look at the right endpoint that you need to call, right? For instance, this one, right? What does it do? It sends this particular payload and it gets this response. Apparently, this is one that displays the website, right? So that is one. So you look, I think this one is not, that one is not. So, and I think let's move on to, basically, it will not be the one that's got files. All the other ones are files. Basically, all these ones are different files. You are looking for the one that's not got extension technically, right? So, and all this one with the extension are not anyway. So yeah. So, and that one also will not be. So this, yeah, this, because this is broad, I think that might be one. So this is one, right? So this gets the events. So they would, yeah, for some complex one, they will give you, for some, you might not be given actually. So, but then you need to look into their website, inspect it, and then, yeah, get something. But in most cases, you might also need to validate with developer and say, is this the endpoint that we are getting? And yeah, but some of them might be a bit straightforward that you look at and you can get something out from there. So as you can see, that one, yeah, but this one is a bit difficult to navigate anyway.
And is there a possibility to search for it instead of scrolling down, looking for it one after the other?
You can restrict that. That's one way, but sometimes it depends on if you believe on developers done what they need to do, right? For instance, I restrict this on documents, right? Because for instance, JavaScript, I'm not interested in JavaScript. I'm not interested. Yeah, I think you can also use this one. That's another one. Yeah. So you can restrict based on the fetch and also the documents, because you don't want the CSS. Hold on. You don't want the CSS. CSS is basically file. You don't want image. Yeah, you can restrict based on this one. Yeah. Yeah. So that's another thing that you can do anyway. But in most cases, they would give you endpoints. They will give you even documentation what the endpoint should be, right?
Okay, then.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, and if you work in a place, the first thing you need to ask them is like, oh, where is our endpoint documentation? Where is that Swagger or Swagger document? If they don't have, you might need to speak to the developer and say, okay, oh, I'm actually doing API testing for this particular application. Do you have what's it called? Postman collection, because the developer should have even tested it as well. So how did he test it? Do you get it? So most of them will use Swagger, right? So what they will do now, like this one now, we've done this. So what they will now do is that they will just copy and export this particular Swagger document. And when they export it, it will come in a JSON export, right? So let me do that. So, and it's a export, okay? And what you will now do, okay, let me save it. So I'll bring this screen up. 1 minute. Yeah. So as you can see, this is the placeholder, and I can save it, okay? So now what I now need to do is import, right? And I say, okay, go back to that and import this. It will ask me that I've got a similar one. So if I want to replace, so I can, yeah. So is it, I want to replace because I've got a similar one, but if you haven't got anyone before, you will just import it. I can say, okay, import as a copy. And that is the new one that comes in now. So you get that from developer like that. So once they give it to you, you can look at that, right? And you can start, yeah, doing that, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And yeah, then from there, as you go along, you're going to have knowledge to create your own. For instance, now, let's say they give you, oh, I think I didn't save that other one. Yeah, I didn't save this one. So that's why it's not coming. Let's say now they give you this, right? And you come here, you can put a large number like that in there. You expect that this number is not there. So that's where your testing now starts, right? Because you are testing that when you get this, you are not expecting 200, right? Who can actually guess what I should expect here?
This should be 404.
404.
Okay. Any other? Because sometimes it might be 200. Yeah. Okay. 404. Someone said 404.
503.
Sick fail straight up.
Okay, let's see that. Okay, yeah, you guys are good. Yeah, 404 it is. Yeah. So because it's not found. So then that's how you now do your testing. You put that, and then you put testing. Okay, now you want to also confirm that you put your validation there that it returns 404. And then it's not going to fail again. It's going to pass actually, because that's what you're expecting. For instance, let's say I put here and I say I'm expecting 404 on invalid like that. I'm sorry for. And then my test pass. Yeah. So yeah, I think this should be 404 at the top. Yeah. So like that's how to do this. So, and let's continue. So we are still on get. Okay, so let's move on quickly.
I'm sorry, my hand is up.
Okay.
Yeah. So the question is, as a tester, if you're testing the database, do you also do test case for this?
Yeah, you can do test case for this as well.
Okay.
There's no difference actually. Yeah.
So, and the expected result, we should get it from the response, is it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
For instance, now let's say you want to do a test case for this. Given I have an endpoint, this basically, right? So let's say I get this endpoint. Let me add new request. So let's say, let me put this here. So let's say I want to write this in the given when then, okay? So something like that is what you want, actually, right? So if you want to make it, more robust, you can parameterize this so that you don't need to change the method. There are more that you can do, but this is a simple one in a given when then. So if you are going to do it in a manual, traditional way, or you can say, go to endpoint. So then, and then your what's expected behavior will be, let me just put it as a pipe. You can now say status check status. Okay, there. Okay, this is it anyway. So so this how to do in a given Wednesday. This is a good a simple example anyway, but you can expand on that on this. So you go to that endpoint, you use a get method, and you get the status code. You can now confirm that, like for instance, now if you know, let's try that first. You can also confirm the body as well, isn't it? Because that's it. So and you can post comments. That's one. You can also say, and the body contains you can paste what is inside the body, basically, and validate that as well. So that's one thing that you can do. Okay. All right, so you can go to this one as well and check. So, and validate that and just play with that as well. So it's quite simple and easy, as you can see. So then,
so sorry, before you go, for the automation part, you did mention that we'll go to the code snippets. So when we click on, assuming we're using Java, when we click on Java, so the Java code will display on the top right hand side. So so do we now copy that code, and the one we'll have when we're doing the validation? Do we not copy this one and the one we'll have when we're doing the validation and paste on the assume we're using the IntelliJ IDE. So do we copy it and paste there and then run it from there for the automation, or do we still run it here on the Postman?
No, you then run it in automation, because this should look like, of course, something familiar to you anyway. So this is your, you declare your clients and you build basically, and this is the, what's it called, the media type that it's going to use, and not everyone will have that. I think sometimes you might remove that. And this is your body that is sending out, and this is your request actually, and then your get, and it builds that, and this is your response. So you just kind of copy, you can copy that like that and paste it. Let's say you paste this in your step definition, right? So in most cases, you might have to break it down if you want to do it properly, right? To say that, okay, maybe this is my given, because you know from here, right, I have 3 steps, right? Given this, right? Given I go to this endpoint. So for that one, hold on, where's that? Yeah. As you can see, this is the endpoint. It's not that straightforward from here anyway, but I think the C# one is a bit cleaner. Yeah. As you can see, in that one is like giving, this is, you can use the same approach here as well. Anyway, you can see this is the client, that part, and this is the method. You copy this one and put in one of the step definition. You copy this part as well. This is from this particular level of the step definition. And this one is the one that gets the status code, which is this particular part. The same thing applies here as well for Java. Hold on, I think, no, Java's got 2 version, yeah. Okay, request, yeah. So I think you can do the same thing as well, but you can as well, if you don't want to use the feature file approach, you can copy them like that and use like a unit test and dump it there. And after that, you just kind of validate the response, right? You know, just the response dot content contains what you were looking for anyway. Yeah. But like I said, this is not automation part anyway. So, but this is a manual part. But of course, you need to know that even if you want to convert it to automation, it's not that difficult. Once you already know this, you can use your knowledge in automation to work around this for a start anyway. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, cool. So I think that is that. So quickly, for the last thing, I will quickly look into the post now. So for the post, you have this, right? Set post, post. So we want to look at that and see if that will work. So let's quickly go to the guides and see how that is done, because you need the body for the post. Yeah. So this is one, right? So you need this body, right? So let's copy that. So put that in. So let's say, so create a new post. So, and then, oh, apologies, I think that is not, I actually added in a different collection. Okay. So if you do like that, that only gets the get, but we are looking for post actually. So we are looking for post, and let's say we do that. That is saying it's created. Basically, it just creates one, and yeah, for us. But if you want to create a specific one, I think you can define the body. I think this is the body. Hold on, let's see. So you can have your body in different form, right? You can say, okay, like the first one I did now, I didn't put anybody, right? It said none, but you still send it, and yeah, and you can see the header is also created for you, right? And the body returns 101, the ID. So, but if you can also do it in forms like that. So one way to do that is if you go here, it's got title, body, user ID. So I can do that. I can say Yeah, 1 minute. So that's try to for the and user ID. This one. So, and this one now, if you send that request out, that is also created. So I think, yeah, it's not, I don't know how their website works anyway, but yeah, so that is our issue, how this body and the same ID 101. So now let's go and check this 101 and see what is there actually. So when we go to get a body, right, and check this 101 and see if it's actually created. So it's not found. Apparently, I think it's not doing anything. Of course, they might not want everyone to be creating something on their website anyway. So yeah, so but it should actually create this, and then okay, I think it's not actually doing anything. Hold on, there's another website that will allow you to do that. Let's go back to. I think there's that other one I sent out. So this one has got the post ad, and this is the document. Let's look for the post. So as you can, this is an example. This is a good example, to be honest. I think you guys can look at that. So get all products. You will get, normally you get a document like this actually, right? So you get all products, that is yeah. You get a single product, that's it. You get product or search for product, that's that one. So, and you can try it from this one. So I think, let me send this one to everyone. So this is also a good document that you can look if you want to have a little practice on that one. Yeah. So for updates, I think add the products, right? That is the one. So we can use this. Let's say show output. This is what you expected to see anyway. So no, sorry. Get add products, what I want. Yeah, add the product. So as you can see, this one now, let's go to our postman. And the body is only got title in the body. Oh, sorry. Apologies. I think I kind of changed the header. So, okay, I'll leave that for now anyway. So as you can see, it said it's not found because it's not expecting a get. It should be a post, right? So when I do the post, and it's also getting 101. So hopefully maybe this will allow us or not. So anyway, let's check. So, but I want to add the title. I want to add the title to it anyway, so I can do that. You can go to the body and add the title. One, you can do it from the form by saying title and put the title here. Or you can say, I want it raw, just paste everything like that. So this is the raw format without having to fill in into the form. If you are going to do the form, you say title here and the BM, whatever that is. Yeah, BMW pencil, you can do that. So let's say this, yeah, I think it's the same thing. It's not even changing at all. So yeah, it's just returning the same thing. Anyway. Yeah, just returning the same thing. So yeah, so I think that is it for now anyway. So any question? Any question? So to quickly recap, actually, right? So for manual testing of API, it's quite easy. What you need and what you need to ask, you need endpoint, right? You need to know the method that you need to call. So once you have the endpoint, developer might give you something like this, right? That's okay. For you to get the product, you need to go to this endpoint, and they might also give you some document to say this is what you're expecting actually. So that might be something they give to you, or they give you a Swagger document or documentation like this anyway. So from there, you get your endpoint. This is your endpoint like that. And you put the endpoints into your Postman. So like maybe so, and let me create a new one. And you put your endpoint here, and then you click on send. Today, yeah, I think this, okay, sorry. Today, we've not actually spoken any, we don't have any authorization, but sometimes you might have authorization to use as well. So for now, you can see product, and the product is displayed. So like so, and you can decide to use a post if there is any form that you need to fill. So you might also need an endpoint for a post as well. So for instance, in this instance here, this one is the endpoint for a post. And also you might need to fill an header as well. So to fill an header, you just need to copy, let's say I copied this one and I go to the header. The developer should advise you on that. So just put the header. I think I've mentioned this briefly. So just put that in the content and the value. So like that. And yeah, and you send it, yeah. And if you are also going to go ahead to automate it, you can copy your code here anyway. And you can do whatever you want to do with it anyway, yeah. Any question before we leave? Okay, I hope this is useful. I've not touched on the updates and delete. I'll see if we got time we can look into this again for the updates and deletes anyway. So next time. So it might be next week, Monday, we'll look into that. Okay. Any question? Okay, all right, cool. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next week.